The funeral hall was silent, so silent that even the soft rustle of flower petals falling from the wreaths felt deafening. Yet, breaking through that heavy quiet was the desperate, trembling bark of a German shepherd named Rex. His paws pressed against the gleaming white coffin, his eyes wet, and his voice cracking as if he were calling out for his partner one last time. People watched with pity, but no one knew the truth behind those barks. No one understood that Rex wasn't just mourning, he was trying to warn them. Trying to tell them something. Trying to tell them that this was not the end. Before you continue, if you believe in kindness, loyalty, miracles, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more heart-touching stories to life. The man lying peacefully inside the coffin was Officer Daniel Brooks, a young soldier known for his fearless service and even bigger heart. He had been Rex's handler for 4 years, and their bond was stronger than most families. Together, they had completed dangerous missions, survived near-fatal ambushes, and saved countless lives. To Rex, Daniel wasn't just a handler, he was home, safety, and love. But now, Daniel lay motionless, dressed in his full uniform, medals shining over his still chest. A tiny puppy, Rex's newborn pup, had been placed gently on Daniel's chest as a symbol of loyalty and new beginnings. The air smelled of lilies, sorrow, and final goodbyes. Family, friends, and soldiers stood around, but none of them could take their eyes off Rex. His bark wasn't aggressive, it was broken, begging, confused. He wouldn't leave the coffin. He wouldn't sit. He wouldn't accept what everyone else had already accepted. What no one realized was that Rex had seen something the night Daniel was injured. Something the reports never mentioned. Something the doctors never understood. The night of the explosion, when the vehicle Daniel was in flipped and flames engulfed the surroundings, everyone thought Rex had barely survived. But even as he stumbled through the smoke, wounded and dazed, he never stopped pulling at Daniel's uniform, tugging, whining, refusing to believe his partner had taken his last breath. Soldiers had to drag Rex away, and his cries echoed long after the battlefield went quiet. Now, in the funeral hall, Rex barked the same way he did that night, frantic, desperate, certain. His tail stiff, ears pointed forward, body shaking. People thought he was grieving uncontrollably, but in reality, Rex was sensing something no machine or human could. Daniel's mother wiped her eyes with a trembling hand as she stepped closer. She whispered something about how loyal Rex had always been. An officer gently tried to pull Rex away, but Rex dug his claws into the floor, refusing with all the strength he had left. Everyone assumed it was emotional trauma. Everyone assumed it was grief. Everyone assumed Rex couldn't let go. But then something changed. The puppy resting on Daniel's chest suddenly wriggled. Not much, just a tiny, soft movement. But it was enough. Rex's bark abruptly shifted. It became deeper, more intense. His nose pressed against Daniel's uniform, snout trembling, breathing fast. He wasn't just grieving. He was reacting. No one moved at first. But then the pup let out a faint whimper. And right then, Rex froze. His head tilted. His ears perked. He made a strange, low sound that no one had heard from him before, something between a cry and a call. Daniel's mother noticed. She leaned in. Her hand hovered over her son's chest, and that's when she felt it. The slightest, softest movement. Not from the puppy. But from beneath it. A ripple, small, but undeniable. Gasps echoed around the room. Someone shouted for help. A medic who had attended the funeral out of respect rushed forward. Then another. The coffin lid was lifted fully, the medic placing fingers against Daniel's neck. And for a moment, everything froze as if time itself held its breath. Then the medic's eyes widened. There's a pulse. The room erupted in shock. Someone cried out. Daniel's mother collapsed into a chair, sobbing his name. The soldiers stepped back, faces pale. The funeral director nearly dropped the flowers he was carrying. No one knew what to say. No one could understand how this was possible. But Rex understood. He started whining softly, tail wagging weakly, his body trembling with relief. For hours he had been barking, not out of pain but insistence. His senses had picked up something the machines had missed. The warmth. The faint shift of muscles. the life still inside them, and everyone believed they had lost. Paramedics rushed Daniel to the nearest hospital. Rex refused to leave the ambulance's side. When they reached the emergency room, Rex sat outside the doors, his eyes fixed on every person who walked in or out. The doctors worked tirelessly. Hours passed. The sun set. The hall grew quiet again, but this time, it wasn't the quiet of defeat. It was anticipation. Finally, a doctor emerged. Daniel was alive. Barely, but alive. His body had gone into a deep, shock-induced coma. His vitals had been too faint to detect under battlefield conditions. The early assumption of death had been tragically wrong, but Rex had refused to believe it. Days turned into weeks. Daniel slowly recovered, waking up to see familiar, warm brown eyes staring at him from beside the bed. Rex was right there, head resting on Daniel's arm, tail thumping carefully so as not to disturb the 4 lines. The moment Daniel whispered his name, Rex let out a cry so full of love that even the nurses had tears in their eyes. News spread everywhere, about the loyal dog who saved his human from being buried alive. About the miracle that happened in a silent funeral hall. And about the unbreakable bond between a soldier and his dog. Weeks later, when Daniel was finally discharged, he walked out with Rex beside him and the tiny puppy cradled in his arms. He looked at Rex with eyes full of gratitude and whispered, "You saved me again." And the world finally understood what true loyalty looked like. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more emotional and inspiring stories to life. Before you go, comment below. What would you name the brave puppy? And remember, sometimes miracles don't come from heaven, they come on 4 paws.